Hello everybody, welcome back. This video I'm going to show you how over the last 3 weeks I've doubled my money using Pionex and their automated trading bots. So Pionex is a crypto exchange, just in case you didn't know. It's quite a large one, so the volume is really high, but they've integrated trading bots into their platform for you to use for free, so no third-party fees. It's all built into the system, and they've really focused on having trading bots as a major part of their platform, and which is what I've used to turn $1,000 into basically $2,000 in 3 weeks. So we'll have a quick look at the platform and I'll show you how I did it. So 3 weeks ago, when I set this bot up, I had about $1,050 which I put into this bot. This is seller to BTC, and as soon as I set the bot up, the market dumped, which basically meant both currencies dumped, which meant that I started off pretty much immediately at a loss of $95.54. Never mind. I've got experience using trading bots before, so I wasn't particularly worried that there was a dump immediately, because the bot does generate profit by buying low and selling high over and over and over and over again. That's the point of the bot. So it's never good to start, with $100 down. I should have perhaps maybe waited a little bit of time before I started the bot, but I was confident that the bot was going to be able to pick up from that loss reasonably quickly. So just less than 3 weeks later, I've doubled my money here. So it's important to recognise that Seller and BTC together, neither of them have actually doubled in value, but my account balance actually has. They've both gone up in value, which is good, so that's definitely accounted for the majority of those gains that you see there. But on top of that, there's something called grid profit, which is what the bot is designed to do. It generates something called grid profit, which in this case is in the form of Bitcoin. And the grid profit that I've accumulated here is at 18%, which basically means I've got 18% more Bitcoin than I started with. So that'll be 18% of my investment of $1,000. So just short of $200 worth of Bitcoin has been created through the buying and selling that the bot has been doing throughout this 3-week period. So that's what I've been doing these last 3 weeks. So let's have a look at the platform itself, and I'll show you what it's all about. So once you come through to the trading section, you're greeted with this page. It looks very much like any other exchange, so quite intuitive. You can go to manual and buy and sell manually, basically doing spot trading, or we could focus on the trading bots. This isn't a small exchange, by the way. We have a look at the listed coins here. There's basically everything and more that you would ever expect to find in an exchange. The list just goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and you can trade in different pairs. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, Binance Coin, BUSD and HUSD. But let's have a look at what the bots are and what they're actually doing. So there's a range of different bots designed to benefit you depending on the state of the market. You've got leveraged grids, which would increase your amount back, obviously with a bit more risk involved. Margin grids, even more so. Reverse grids, this is an interesting one. Obviously this isn't the time to be using that. We're in a bull market at the moment, but if the market were to go bearish, this bot is designed to actually benefit you in a bearish market, which is pretty interesting. I'd like to see how that worked, but obviously we'd have to wait for a bear market first. Leveraged reverse grid, so an upgraded version of that using leverage. Sounds pretty risky, but obviously the rewards would be a lot greater. And infinity grids, and this is the one that I used because we appear to be in an uptrend, we appear to be in a bullish market. So the idea of this would be to hold 2 tokens. In my case I held Seller and Bitcoin, so half of each, and what the bot does is it basically sells on the way up, so sells Seller to Bitcoin, buys Seller back down again, sells it on the way back up, buys it on the way back down, and so on and so on and so on. And the end result of this is to generate grid profit, which is in the form of BTC, because that was my base currency. My base currency is BTC, my leading currency is Seller. So what the bot is trying to do here, and is achieving it pretty well actually, is to generate you profit on top. It's not to I suppose make you faster profit. It's to accumulate you more of your base currency through the fluctuations of the market. And if you can have a look here, this has been going on for 19 days, almost 20 days, and it's given me 18% more Bitcoin than I had when I started this 20 days ago. So that is a decent result. I have to say that's a pretty decent result, and this is ongoing, because if we look at what's going on in the market right now, if we just go back to this is the chart that I'm trading. we are generally going up, but we are also dumping, and it's not very often that you actually celebrate a dump, but for the bots to really make the most of to generate you Bitcoin in return, you want it to go up and down, because you need it to be able to sell and buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell, and now it's buying, and we can only hope that it'll be selling them on the way back up again, which will generate me more Bitcoin in return. So let's have a look at the actual bot, my specific bot, and how it's actually worked, and what it's done, and how it's actually generated this through grids. So this is the last 7 days worth of price action for the bot. So that you can see these little red ticks, ever so slight little red ticks here. That would be a sell, and the green ones would be buys. So some sells here and another sell here, and then buying it back again. Basically, the grids operate within I've created them to operate within certain price ranges. The lowest grid would have been triggered at 19 sats. If the price ever came down that low, it would buy at that level, but if it went lower than that, I didn't want it to buy any further than that. That would be the lowest I'd be prepared for it to go. But there is no top to this. It's called an infinity grid because the grid will move up with the price action. So if seller decided to go to the moon, the grid would follow it to the moon as well, and carry on doing this upwards, downwards, buying and selling all the way up, and obviously all the way back down again. So if we have a look at the transactions that have taken place, there's not an enormous amount of transactions taking place, so we can only see throughout these, in fact that one's not even been sold, so all that profit has been created through only 13 sales. So buys and sells, and these are basically the profit that I've made. So the last one here was 0.00024392 Bitcoin. So you get to see the profit that was made in the form of Bitcoin for each sale that the bot has made. So not too bad. And so that's basically how it has worked. I'll show you how to set it up now. So to set one of these up, you'd go to trade, you'd pick whichever currency that is that you'd like to trade. You can do that through the market tool here. So a list of all these different kinds. So let's just choose a different one. For instance, let's just choose Ethereum to Bitcoin. So this is the chart that will be traded within the bot. And we would use infinity grids. In this instance, we're in a bull market, it would make sense to use this option. Other options would make sense in different market scenarios. So at the moment, it's given us a back test. This is how much it's expected to earn you back in a 30-day period. Now this is based on previous results. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is what's going to happen, but this means that in the last 30 days that has happened. So it's assuming that it will continue to happen. So you could use the AI strategy and basically set yourself up and ready to go, or you could set this up yourself. This is what I did. I set mine up myself, but there's nothing wrong with using the automated strategy. The setting up yourself, you tell the bot where the lowest price in form of satoshis is that you'd be prepared to have your lowest level of grid. Basically, if you don't think the grid or the price is going to come down to these levels, if you're adamant that it's not going to come down to these levels, then you don't need to have a grid there. If you think that the grid will come down to this level at the lowest, then you'd set that at your lowest price. That's the lowest grid. That would be the lowest that the bot will buy any more Bitcoin in exchange for Ethereum. So you'd write that in here. So that's 0.03. So 0.03 would go in there. It's an infinity grid, so it will go up all the time, so you don't need to have a top grid on this one. What you would do instead is you'd have how much profit per grid. So this would be, is there going to be a sale triggered after 1% move up, or 5%, or 10%? I think the best option for cryptocurrency, especially with volatile tokens, is probably about 1 or 2%. So we could put 1 down there. It's saying here that I would need a total investment of 0.024 Bitcoin. Now I don't have that here. I don't have that, and that's because all mine it's already in a bot, and I don't want to close this down because I want to show the results of this over a longer period. So I want to have a follow-up video of how this bot has performed over perhaps maybe another 3 weeks. And then once you've done that, you would simply press create, and your bot is basically set up, and initially what it will do is it will sell half of your Bitcoin to Ethereum. So it will have half to start selling and half to start buying, and basically you just sit back and leave it. So once you've set it up, basically you can keep track of what's going on up here in my orders, my trading bots. You can have a look at the details of what's going on with it and see how it's performing, with how much grid profit's being created as well. They also have an app which you can download, so you don't have to look at it on a web browser. You can actually download the actual app. You can even set things up on the app as well, which is really useful if you're looking to monitor it as well. But one of the best things about these is that, you know, it's not stress free. Obviously it's dealing with your money. Your hard-earned money is always at risk in any kind of investment, but it's nice to be able to keep track of it when you're on the go with an app as well. The idea really is to kind of leave it to do its thing over, you know, weeks, perhaps maybe even months, which is why we're going to make that a follow-up video maybe next month, and we'll see how it's gone from just sitting back and leaving it. And in that respect, it kind of takes a little bit of the stress away from investment and trading. So if this is something you feel like you're interested in, there's a link in the description below. It'll take you straight through to Pinex, and you can set yourself an account up. It's important to recognise that bots aren't a way to make fast money. I mean, I've had good results in a small space of time here, but the market has certainly been in my favour. The good thing about bots, and especially with Pinex, I mean, they give it you for free. Bots normally cost you a monthly subscription to use. They can be quite expensive, but Pinex allow you to do it for free, and it's a way to hedge against the fluctuations in the market. So normally, you know, everyone's always happy when the price of everything's going up, but when things are going down, it's not quite such an exciting time. But at least you know, when you're using a bot, you know that bot is utilising that temporary downtrend or that dump to buy back and then inevitably sell on the way back up again, generating that grid profit, which is essentially going to be used in the end to offset any temporary losses that you may have sustained during that downtrend. So that is the beauty of bots. That's the beauty of Pinex. Like I say, it's all free to use. There's no monthly subscriptions for these bots, and the bots do work very well, as you can see. Anyway, we'll make a follow-up video on this in maybe a month from now, and we'll see how my one particular bot has gone. Hopefully what we'll see is a downtrend. We'll see how it's operated in a downtrend, but you know, for the sake of I suppose for the balance, let's not really hope for a downtrend, but if we do get one, it will be interesting to see how it's coped with that, and yeah, we'll show the results again in about a month from now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice evening. Take it easy.